Recently, a report issued by International Communications Fund, which is an organization under the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Japan, has sparked controversy in China. This report shows that ever since 2008, this foundation has contacted a number of active personalities in China, with 144 people in China who have been invited to take part in this project. A large number of celebrities in China have been involved, and this report shows that they paid money to these people in China, these Chinese, so that they can make influence towards Chinese people to improve the image of Japan and induce the Chinese people to forget about the Japanese war crimes and indirectly defame China and South Korea. So this report has, this report leaked these names in the form they need to list some examples of good examples who had played a positive role in realizing that mission, improving the image of Japan, and so on and so forth. So they list a number of names, and that is why those names were leaked. And there are some people on the internet who have said that this report proves that it is true that some people get money from Chinese people, get money from foreign governments, so that they say the good words about those countries and indirectly defame their own country or some other friendly countries, so that they boast about Japan in a crazy way, which means we don't deny that Japan has good points. However, these very people, try to say the good things about Japan unconditionally, in a crazy way, and they beautify the Japanese invasion into China in the past. And they defame some Chinese opinion makers. And some people here in China say that the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Japan has done a good thing, exposing these bad people in China so that they can be targeted for criticism. However, maybe it's more complicated than that. There is one possibility that this is only a tip of an iceberg. It is very likely that these people expose are not the key figures. Maybe they're just the small ones, the lesser people. This could be a strategy from Japan that they deliberately exposed a list of Chinese people working for Japan, and probably there are much more people who play a big role than these people, but the Japan side sacrifice the lesser people for the protection of the bigger guys, who will play a more destructive role in China. So that is really one possibility. Over a decade ago, American media also exposed a similar list of people in China who are good, as is said by the American press, which actually means that they are hostile to China. These Chinese people are hostile to China, so they list a large number of names. But most people actually stay safe. And there weren't so many bad things happen to them. And also, recently, the chief editor of Global Times in China, named Hu Xijin, has posted his opinion, saying that the Chinese netizens should not be too fussy about this, since this, as I said, this could be the tip of an iceberg. Actually, a little while before the exposure of this list, there have been some other people on the Chinese internet trying to, trying to beautify the infamous 731 unit troop of Japan, which was an infamous troop unit conducting experiment on people alive. When people were alive, they conducted germ and very cruel experiments which tortured those people to death in China. So some Chinese people tried to put a good name to them. So you see, this is there are so many other people other than the people listed in this list, and there are also some people in China who always say the good words about Fukushima, about their nuclear leakage. They say it's not a big deal, and they say always say when Japan has done it, have dealt with this in a very scientific way, with a very good goodwill, etc., and so on and so forth. And these Chinese also attack the Chinese traditional medicine, and they say the good things about transgened food and products. So it's not just about Japan, it's also about the US. There is also a famous, or you can say infamous, pro-Japan professor working in Fudan University in Shanghai, whose name is Feng Wei. And he has worked tirelessly in the classroom, on the internet and other media to say the good words about the crimes conducted by the Japanese troops during the war of the invasion into China, and I said many bad things about the resistance force of China during that time. So you can see there are so many very serious problems. So anyway, there could be this, as I said, and this could be just a cover up for the bigger names. And there's one example of a Chinese writer, whose name is Zhang Fangzhou. And this female writer, who is a Chinese, got quite much money from Japan, and she stayed in Japan for a year on the expenditure borne by the Japanese government, and she stayed there for a year, and the Japanese government paid her all the money for daily life, and paid for all the guides, tour guides, etc. All the money. And it's not just about this; it's also about the royalty. The royalty from the book that she wrote. After the 1 year stay in Japan, on the cost of the Japanese government, she wrote a book boasting Japan, in a very crazy way. And actually, the book, the quality of the book is pretty bad. However, the Japanese government praised her for her contribution in lifting the image of Japan. And so we need to have a look at this, and we must know the complicated nature of the situation China faces these days. Since a large number of people were bought off by the foreign governments, so that they work for their interest. So we must stay conscious and know what's going on for all the people. We can't just believe everything we see. We can't believe all the things that we see on the internet. We need to have independent thinking, just like me, and hopefully that we can discuss openly about the issues inside and outside China or in the world. And yes, Japan is actually quite well known for their huge interest in employing the different forces like writers or like internet trolls who say the good things about Japan and say the bad things about those countries who are in the opposite position of them, like China and South Korea. Not just about China. I believe you read so many negative articles about China, but it's also about South Korea. South Korea is also a U.S. ally, and hand in hand with Japan in East Asia, they're working tirelessly for the U.S. interest. However, even so, Japan attacks South Korea a lot since South Korea does not want to be too obedient towards Japan, and South Korea knows very well about the war crimes that Japan did to them in the past. So Japan also wants to defame South Korea a lot, and Japan made lots of rumors in such as in China, Greater China, including Taiwan. You see, it is interesting to say that politically, the mainland China and Taiwan are opposite to each other, and they are pretty hostile to each other. However, when speaking of South Korea, they have the same rumors. They say that they have the same rumors about South Korea, so that the image of South Korea is lowered, very much lowered, in both mainland China and Taiwan. And they use the same fake stories. So think about that. Who did this? Obviously, it's the internet trolls employed by the Japanese government. And also, it is a huge interest for not just the Japanese government, but also Japanese companies who simply love to employ internet trolls. Another very good example is Sony, the Japanese company, which simply loves to, employ lots of internet trolls to pour the dirty water to their rival products, not just about the Chinese and South Korean ones, but also even American ones. One very perfect example is about their PlayStation and Xbox made by Microsoft. In China and even in many other countries in Asia, there are so many people on the internet who poured very bad words to Xbox. Actually, to be very honest, Xbox is a wonderful product. However, there are so many rumors, negative rumors about Xbox in Asia and also in mainland China. I am an Xbox player, and I know the good points about Xbox, and I perfectly know that many such fake stories made up by the trolls employed by Japan or by Sony are fake. They're so fake that it's very easy to see. However, there are so many people on the internet who do not know about the truth, so they are easily influenced by the huge amount of fake news made by Japanese government or the Japanese companies. So they are easily misguided. So that is a really big threat from Japan. So we need to be very careful about that. Whenever we see like news or articles that say the very good words about Japan, we need to be careful. We need to be vigilant and think twice before we believe it. We need to see whether it could be made by a troll, whether it's totally true. We need to stay cool. We need to stay calm about those so much information on the internet. We need to know what's going on.